I don't think there's a person in football wouldn't pick to win via the playoffs.
It's a miracle! It's playoff history!
Trouble is, there's 3 other managers trying to beat you.
It's the worst way to go out, that's for sure.
The playoffs are brutal, but the playoffs are brilliant!
There's always something going on.
Probably the best thing in football.
You can still dream.
It keeps you going in the dark.
Going to get back to Wembley again here. We've got to.
Wembley Stadium was the pinnacle.
It's a kid's dream, isn't it, to play at Wembley?
When you wheel away and you've just scored at Wembley, it's like a boyhood dream.
Half the stadium just screaming your name.
Wembley's for winning.
You can get it or you're losing.
It's not for the faint heart.
There's nothing like it.
Everything is hinging on this.
Trying to get to the promised land.
The richest prize in football.
It's the most amazing feeling.
It was mental, absolutely crazy.
The unachievable was achieved.
This is the best trip we've ever been on.
Can't wait for this one. A very special Players at 40 documentary will be premiering on Sky Sports Football at 6 p.m. this evening, with the latest showing at 8:30. It's also available on demand and on YouTube. And this is how you do it. Sky Glass, Sky Q and Sky Stream customers can navigate to sport and head to the football page to find the Playoffs at 40 on demand later this evening, alongside the EFL Playoff Classics collection, featuring some of the most iconic matches from the last 4 decades. Now members can enjoy that same EFL Playoff content in the football section of the Now app. And for some extra content, follow this QR code across to skysports.com, where we asked the Sky Sports team for their best and worst memories of the delight and the pain that they can bring. We're getting very close to kick-off. Let's get the thoughts of George Hurst, with Jonathan Oakes catching up with him.
Hi, George. Not long now till you go for promotion. Excited?
Always excited.
Do the memories come flooding back of the last 2 times you've won promotion, both here at Portman Road?
We know what a special day it can be. You know, we've done the prep work and now it's just about going out there and doing the job.
You're heading back to the dressing room now. What will it be like in there ahead of a game of such magnitude?
Real excited, real confident. Yeah, ready to go.
Thanks, George.
It's quicker than he looks, Oakes, isn't he, catching it with George Hurst there. Elsewhere, there could be real drama, couldn't there, given what Millwall will be hoping that Ipswich slip up and steal into second spot. That's against Oxford, and that's up next on Sky Sports Football. Meanwhile, stick with us here on Sky Sports' main event, the Sir Ralph Ramsey stand in full voice and full colour. Ipswich taking on QPR. Win for them sends them back to the Premier League.
But they also know they are going to need a lot of help for that dream to come true. They need to win here and hope that both Ipswich and Millwall lose. So welcome inside the racecourse ground for the tantalising prospect of a team gunning for the playoffs, coming up against a team that still has hope for automatic promotion. Let's just run you through the Sky Bet Championship table ahead of the final 90 minutes of the campaign. Middlesbrough start the day in 4th on 79 points, 1 behind Millwall, who take on already relegated Oxford at the Den. They sit 1 point behind Ipswich on 81 points, and they take on QPR at Portman Road, with QPR 14th in the table and with nothing other than pride to play for. In the race for the playoffs, 1 spot remains available. Wrexham start the day in 6th with a goal difference of +4, but level on points with them are Hull City with a goal difference of +3. Should the sides finish level on points and goal difference, then Hull go into the day having scored 1 more goal. Head-to-head could also come into it. That favours Hull, having won both of their meetings against Wrexham this season. So what an afternoon we have in prospect here at the racecourse ground. 3 successive promotions for Wrexham, but here they are dreaming of a 4th. For that to happen, they need to hold off Hull City, who couldn't be any closer to them as well. And they need to also take out the threat that remains from Derby County. For Middlesbrough, automatic promotion is a long shot as they need help from already relegated Oxford at Millwall and a QPR side with little to play for at second-placed Ipswich. But Adam Virgo, as we look at the top of the table, as it stands right now, anything could happen on this final day.
Yes, certainly. I mean, it will be twists and turns throughout the afternoon, and the fans will play a massive part in that because their nerves will be felt by the players, and if a certain team scores which favours them, then the players will know about it on the field. However, both managers will clearly be saying to their players today, this is about you. We know what we need to do. And in theory, both sides really do just need that win. The Middlesbrough just to give themselves that slim glimmer of hope. As you mentioned, with Wrexham, while breathing down their necks in terms of that goal difference, and it could be significant moving forward to today, but fascinating to be part of.
A delight to be involved on a day such as this, and we just wait for that trigger, the first goal of the afternoon in the games involving automatic promotion and the playoffs. Days like these, Adam, you've been there as a player. Just how difficult are they, especially knowing your fate can be decided from games going on elsewhere?
Yeah, it's a real difficult scenario, but this is where the team mentality and the information that you're given building up to this game is the most important thing. That the old cliche is just treat it as another game, but of course the significance of the Premier League and the significance of Championship playoffs for Wrexham will be hugely significant. It's how the players handle the occasion. I'll certainly tell in the first 15 minutes whether or not this occasion has got to the Wrexham players, maybe got to the Middlesbrough players as well, but this is why you play the game. This is why you get into the game of football as a professional football.
Smartphones fully charged, you would imagine, today to keep across what is going on elsewhere. Wrexham can hope perhaps that Norwich, who take on Hull, can continue the form that has seen them pick up more points than any other side in the Championship in January, to just make their task a touch easier today. It all comes down to this, as both Wrexham and Middlesbrough walk out for the 46th and final game of their Championship seasons. A date with destiny for Wrexham, going for a 4th successive promotion. A place in the playoffs is at stake. They hold the card right now, starting the day in 6th, but have Hull City just a goal behind them on goal difference, breathing down their neck. Derby County still in the race as well, just a point behind. Can Wrexham draw upon their experiences over the last 3 seasons to keep their Premier League dream alive? For Middlesbrough, they need help and they need to win here. But if the stars all align, Kim Helberg's side will be back in the Premier League for the first time in 9 years. They start the day in 4th, 2 points behind second-placed Ipswich, needing both they and Millwall to slip up if their dream is to come true. Let's take a look at the teams. Phil Parkinson names an unchanged side from the one which started the 3-1 defeat against Coventry last weekend. Danny Ward starts a 4th successive game in goal, having taken the place of Arthur Okonkwo in recent weeks. He has 2 clean sheets since coming back into the side. Ollie Rathbone starts in midfield once again. He scored in the defeat at Coventry last Saturday. What form Josh Windass finds himself in, with 6 goals in his last 6 starts. It has taken his tally to the season to 15. As for Kim Helberg, he makes 4 alterations to the side from the 5-1 win against Watford at the Riverside last weekend. Matt Targett, Dale Fry, Alan Brown and Tommy Conway, who scored twice as a substitute last Saturday, all come into the starting 11. Sol Brynn continues his run of starting every Championship game in goal this season. The return of Morgan Whittaker has been so beneficial in recent weeks. He has 3 goals in his last 2 starts. How different today may have been had he not missed the last 4 games, or 4 games recently, through injury. It is a huge day. Adam Virgo, who are you picking to be your potential stars on show?
Potential stars and potential match winners. And this one, on more than one occasion, has done it in a Wrexham shirt, and he's done it in a Sheffield Wednesday shirt as well in the past. And I've always enjoyed watching him play. I think the quality that he brings on the ball and the way that he can see a pass, but also his range of goals as well, has been so crucial for Wrexham's rise into the playoffs.
Huge day for Phil Parkinson and for Wrexham, who have been there and done it and dealt with these kind of occasions before. For Middlesbrough, Adam, who could be the man that makes it happen for them?
He was in there somewhere and now he's just pulled away. Morgan Whittaker. I think we've seen with Middlesbrough's results when he's not been in the side how different they are, and it's so pleasing to see him come back. The goal against Sheffield Wednesday, a brace against Watford. He's so important for them, and they get into decent areas, and he has a huge effect on this game.
So Wrexham know they have to match the result of Hull to ensure a playoff place, whilst if they were both to draw, it offers opportunity to Derby. A place in the playoffs beckons for Phil Parkinson's side. For Middlesbrough, automatic promotion remains a possibility. That the word that Kim Hellberg used to describe their chances. They start the day in fourth, needing help from elsewhere. It is a crackling atmosphere here at the racecourse ground. It should be one heck of an afternoon for us.
Yeah, it's always a brilliant atmosphere here at the racecourse ground, and these fans have been through a lot, from National League all the way up now to possibly playoff football in the Championship, which will be an unbelievable achievement for them. But Middlesbrough certainly feel they've got unfinished business to get themselves over the line after disappointing results leading into this period. But a couple of wins has been so important for them. But the first 15 minutes, as I mentioned pre-match, is going to be important, how the side settle into the game.
And could Middlesbrough get a nerve settler here? Could they pile the pressure early on both Ipswich and on Millwall? Free kick comes into the penalty area. Of course, Middlesbrough this day could have been so different for them. But now they have some defending to do as Wrexham come forwards here. It's an ambitious attempt with not too much else on for Ollie Rathbone. First touch of the ball for Sol Bryn in the Middlesbrough goal.
Yeah, comfortable save there, but brilliant layoff there from Smith into Rathbone that ran out of space, really. So taking on the early shots. An encouraging start there for Wrexham in terms of the counter-attacking play they're going to produce against this Middlesbrough side. They're going to look to keep possession and invite the press on, and can they play through that press to get their forward players into the game?
It's a Middlesbrough side that have spent more days in the top two than any other team in the Championship this season. And Phil Parkinson says it's been a good week in terms of training. His players know the job at hand. And of course, he can draw upon so much experience with what he has achieved at this football club during their remarkable rise. For Kim Hellberg, well, he just said football is an unbelievable sport, and when it goes down to the last day, it is difficult to know how teams will handle the situation. Their job really is to just try and put pressure on the two above them and hope that it knocks them out of their stride. We will keep you up to date, of course, with everything going on in the games that matter, in the battle for automatic promotion and in the race for the playoffs. Tough game for Hull City against Norwich today. You would imagine Wrexham fans will be looking at their phones just as much as they're watching the action on the pitch. They are the two games you can see there concerning the race for sixth spot. Derby at home to Sheffield United. Sheffield United with nothing really to play for, beaten in their last two games. An early goal for Derby, and that will really shake things up. Great days these, aren't they, Adam? It all builds to this, 9 months of the season, and it all boils down to 90 minutes.
Yeah, it's a season's work can be unblemished in one 90-minute game.
Chance here perhaps for Wrexham. The strike comes in, Dale Fry in the way, ball lofted in, and well, they made it difficult for themselves there. Bryn wanted to take command, Malanda got a touch to it. Middlesbrough get away with it.
Oh, these moments are always heart-in-your-mouth moments on the final day of the season. A calm, cool defending there from Malanda just to chest it back, and it's been a decent start from both sides.
Here's Callum Britton, he's got three to try and pick out in the box, and Tommy Conway forces it in. Middlesbrough strike first. They've laid down the gauntlet to Ipswich and Millwall. And a crushing blow for Wrexham. We knew there'd be drama. It has taken no time at all here to begin. Wrexham 0, Middlesbrough 1.
Well, I said the first 15 minutes of this game is going to be crucial. And that's just a wonderful flighted ball there from Whittaker. And as Conway just attacks that near post really well. And it's not the best goalkeeping, it's not the best defending. They kind of get in each other's way. But when you need a goal to settle the nerves, that will certainly help Middlesbrough, and that will send a message to Ipswich, that will send a message to Millwall. An early goal being scored. Last day drama at it again in the Championship.
They are doing what they can. No more can they do. The outsiders to make it into the top two, but Middlesbrough have started quite brilliantly here, but there has also been drama elsewhere, and we'll inform you of that in a moment as Wrexham look to steady things up here try and work her way back into the game. What a beginning to the afternoon, Adam.
Yeah, brilliant there from Morgan Whittaker with that through ball. And Wrexham certainly know about the qualities of Middlesbrough on the ball. And we certainly know Middlesbrough's qualities up to that final third. They just haven't really shown it in front of goal.
But there you see, Ipswich have made a perfect start this afternoon as well. George Hurst has them in the lead on 3 minutes. Kabore looks to cross. This could be an exhausting afternoon here as free kick is given inside the penalty area for the challenge on Aidan Morris. Well, Ipswich know that if they take care of business, they will be going up. They have done what they needed to do early today.
I'd usually say in these situations, maybe conceding an early goal for Wrexham might settle the nerves, but I actually thought they started OK. But they do have this tendency at home to concede goals, and it's been an Achilles heel for Phil Parkinson's side that as much as they are good going forward defensively here, they've been very open.
4 wins in their last 6 here at home, but they have lost 5 of their last 10 games. No one has just grabbed that final playoff spot. Hull City have been in wretched form recently. 6 games without a win for them. It's left the door open for Wrexham and begin the day in 6. Here's Tommy Conway, scorer of that Middlesbrough goal. 5 goals for him now in his last 4 games. Whittaker back to Conway, looking to link up with Whittaker once again. And Wrexham fans want a free kick, but no free kick coming from the referee, Ollie Langford. Now Kabore, nodded away and into touch, and Wrexham considering getting things moving quickly. For Middlesbrough, I guess, Adam, it is maybe a case of they can come here without too much pressure upon them because both the 2 teams above them are expected quite overwhelmingly to win today. So just a chance to play maybe with a bit of freedom and find some form ahead of the playoffs. And if anything else is to happen and they end the day in the Premier League, what a day.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's an important 10 minutes for them now to control the game and not allow Wrexham any momentum, but it's about finding that momentum in the playoffs as well. And they weren't great against Sheffield Wednesday, the game that you and I at, and they managed to get the win over the line, but significant win against Watford, finally finding those goals that have been lacking so far in maybe the last 10 games. But there's experience in this side now to really control the game over the next 10 minutes. What have Wrexham got now to react?
Well, they might be able to tell us just here as they look to work their way up to the Middlesbrough penalty area. The strike comes in from Windass, who's been in stellar form recently. Now Rathbone. 3 Wrexham players inside the penalty area. It's nodded behind, and Wrexham have themselves a corner hit. It will be George Dobson to take. The mood, the atmosphere may swing considerably through the course of the afternoon. Dobson looks to whip it in. Ayling contesting. Wrexham trying to keep it alive still. Rathbone. Now Conway. And Britton. Wrexham looking to keep Middlesbrough boxed in here. Whittaker dispossessed. Look over the shoulder from Rathbone, scanning where the pressure was coming. Now Kabore. He's been bright in recent weeks as Issa Kabore. Dobson takes over. Patient from Wrexham, no way through initially, but it breaks to Windass here, takes the deflection. Taken in by Solgren.
Yeah, Middlesbrough got a decent shape. 25 yards from their own goal. They're playing really narrow because they know that those wing-backs want to cut inside and use those little through balls to Smith to try and find Windass on the edge of the box and Rathbone with those runs forwards.
Here's Windass. It's been a good couple of minutes for Wrexham in response to Tommy Conway's opener. Good ball across the box from Kabore, but there was nobody there to meet it. Well, Wrexham began the day in 6th place. It has changed significantly now. They find themselves down in 8th because Derby have taken the lead against Sheffield United. Sam Smodic on 5 minutes. So Hull City into 7th, Wrexham into 8th. And Ipswich, well, I don't think there's too much doubt now. They have gone 2-0 up against Queen's Park Rangers. Jayden Philogene perhaps starting the Portman Road party. Crushing for both Millwall and for Middlesbrough. But this playoff battle, Adam, wow. Derby into 6 already, Wrexham down to 8th, having begun in the playoff spots.
We always said that there's always going to be twists and turns today, and yet again, in the opening 10 minutes, we have seen that to be proven.
Wrexham know there is a long way to go in the day. And a chance here to get a strike away. It's straight at Sol Bryn from Ollie Rathbone, who can come up with the strike from that part of the pitch. Great goal at Coventry last week.
There's been a decent reaction from Phil Parkinson and Middlesbrough that can't keep hold of the ball in their own half.
Wrexham continuing to ask the questions. Here's Kabore. Doesn't have much to aim for in the middle. It was an awkward ball travelling towards Sol Bryn, who's had plenty of touches, the Middlesbrough keeper, early on this afternoon.
He's been involved early on, but not necessarily making saves that are kind of keeping Middlesbrough in the game. They've been pretty tame efforts, but just mentioning there that Phil Parkinson's side have had a good reaction after conceding that goal. Middlesbrough, for all the good that they do in possession, they've just really struggled in these areas recently in the last 5 minutes to keep the ball well and find those little players in pockets of spaces.
So there you see the way that it looks right now. Nearly 12 minutes into this final day. Derby have jumped up 2 into 6th. Wrexham with work to do now. Ipswich looking comfortable with a 2-goal lead at home to Queen's Park Rangers, who, if truth be told, have very little to play for here today. They are almost the perfect opponent for Kieran McKenna's team. So pensive, nervous, the Wrexham supporters, but they'll be encouraged by the way they've reacted since going behind.
Yeah, most definitely. Maybe sometimes, I mean, that early goal just settled nerves, but I actually thought they had started the game well. They just switched off that one moment of play. Quality there from Whittaker to put the through ball into that area.
So for Middlesbrough, the high of scoring early, and they felt putting the pressure on those above them, but I'm sure they will know just from their own fan reactions and perhaps some communication from the bench as well that what looked unlikely looks even more unlikely for them now this afternoon. The playoff campaign looks on the cards for Kim Hellberg's side. Really could have been a different day for them had they not gone on that 7-game run without a victory as we came towards the conclusion of the campaign. But a bit of form found by them, Adam, in recent weeks, which will stand them well for the playoffs.
Yeah, I was slightly concerned prior to that Sheffield Wednesday game, as you mentioned, that the chances and conceding late goals, Bristol City springs to mind. And there were drop points, especially at home, where they played decent football, but up to that final third, they weren't finding that consistency in front of goal. But you do need that little bit of momentum coming into the playoffs. You have to. You can't come in on indifferent form. And if they can come away with the 3 points today and a clean sheet and a solid performance, then that will certainly help with their confidence.
Long ball sent forwards, and it's Britton who laid on the Middlesbrough goal, who finds himself in an advanced position once again. Skips up awkwardly in the box for Matty James. Half-hearted appeals for a handball. We should remember as well that there is every chance these two teams could be doing it all again next week in a playoff semi-final. Quite often you see when teams know that they're going to come up against each other in playoff campaigns, and it does happen occasionally. They'll not give much away, but there's not the chance to do that today as Kabore picks up possession once again. Only Smith in the middle. Crosses quite easily blocked.
That's the issue when the ball's out wide for Wrexham, that there isn't enough red shirts in the box.
Here's Kabore. Now they have got a few more players in the box, but Matt Targett comes away with possession and a free kick given away. Well, there were claims for handball a few moments ago.
He's got some really good areas bringing down that right-hand side against Thomason, and Not for me, that one. Referee was in a really, really good position. That was good control in the end there.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that from Matty James in this week of controversial moments involving handballs, but that certainly wasn't the case. Windass looks to take aim. Just looked as if he rushed his shot, was trying to force a shot there. Now Luke Ayling weaving his way forward. Just found himself crowded out there, Alan Brown. Well, the Wrexham fans making plenty of noise. They'll back their team all the way through the course of this afternoon. This remarkable rise, as if 3 successive promotions wasn't enough. Gunning for a 4th. Lovely ball sent out to Tommy Conway, but he was just unable to bring it under control.
Well, what they've done well, Middlesbrough, in the first 15 minutes is keep the ball short and then offer the Wrexham press and then play the ball long in behind them. With that back 3, there is space down the outside of both centre-halves on both sides to use that space, and that's where the first goal came from.
Well, we are just 16 minutes into the afternoon, and Wrexham have already had 7 attempts at goal, but as Adam mentioned, they haven't been attempts that have really tested, really extended Sol Bryn so far, as Dobson gets himself on the ball. Now Windass, Conway tracking back. Windass, the player that has provided the spark in recent weeks. Is Kabore looking to take on Target. You get the feeling that is going to be one of the key battles here this afternoon.
He's done well, but Target, the left back there. Kabore is quick. And they've got the ball out wide to him. He's offered posed Middlesbrough an issue. To give credit to the defender in those one-on-one areas, he's done well.
We saw him go off, didn't we, in that game we covered against Sheffield Wednesday recently, and was only available off the bench last week as Kim Hellberg mixed his team up a little with squad rotation and managing the load, as they say these days, with his players, with an eye towards a potential playoff campaign. But he was delighted with the impact that Target made in that second half as Middlesbrough blew Watford away. Realistic, Kim Hellberg coming into today as to the chances of his sides making it into the top 2.
Yeah, I think there's always been that hope there for him, but the form that QPR is on doesn't build you much confidence. It's proved to be so far, and Ipswich certainly started well and controlled the game early, which they would have wanted to get those early goals to even settle their nerves down, and seems a really, really solid start from Kieran McKenna's side.
And they knew they needed much help from elsewhere. That help hasn't come at Portman Road. Has been a goal at Deepdale as well. Southampton, of course, in the top 6. They're leading by a goal to 0. Taylor Harwood-Bellis putting the Saints in front. They are probably the side you would feel that no one wants to come up against in the playoffs. With that incredible game against Ipswich in midweek as well, which finished 2-2. Which, of course, left the door open for both Millwall and Middlesbrough this afternoon. Target looks to sweep one out to the far side. And Whittaker, how different you feel it might have been for Middlesbrough had he not missed 4 games recently. We've seen his value since he's come back into the team with 3 goals, including the winner. And what was a really tough watch, if truth be told, against Sheffield Wednesday as Borough won by a goal to 0. Good run and good space found by Alan Brown, and Middlesbrough with a few runners ahead of the ball there. Brown once again to Morris. Loose touch from Morris, but he's able to keep a hold of possession. Here's Whittaker. Strelec and Target waiting in the middle. Conway with the cross. He was looking to pull it back, but Matty James was there for Wrexham. Windass looking to get Sam Smith into the game. He hasn't got into the game so far today. No player has got into the game perhaps more for Wrexham than Windass. 20 touches of the ball, the most in his team so far this afternoon.
I think in some really good positions, and effectiveness, probably his creativity of why he gets the nod ahead in that start, in that 10 role.
Well, since the goal, 58% of the game has been played in Middlesbrough's defensive third as Dale Fright makes an important interception. Again, Wrexham just looking to force the squeeze on Middlesbrough. Ayling backed up and bundled over in the box, but the game goes on. They clip around the corner there to find Strelec. He's chipped in with some goals in recent weeks, and his work has been praised by the manager. I'll clear that up, though. That was, in fact, Alan Brown.
A wonderful flick round the corner.
Alan Brown, who was one of those who was rotated last week against Watford, was left on the bench to watch on. A player who's played 25 of the last 27 games. Matty James, his experience could be so crucial here for Wrexham this afternoon. They need to keep a calm head, given the start that they've made to proceedings. Right now, it is Derby County in the box seat for the playoffs as an attempted cross comes from Callum Doyle. Now Dobson, but the whistle has gone from the referee.
He just delayed the cross into the box there, Callum Doyle. That slightly frustration there, and then just give away a needless free kick that gives Middlesbrough now a bit of breathing space to get their shape and compose themselves.
It is quite a quick turnaround for the playoffs, which begin on Friday night. Always a guarantee of ridiculous drama. Midway point in the first half. Tommy Conway's early goal, leaving Wrexham with much to do. We say much to do, but of course that can change through the course of the afternoon with goals in other games as well. 0-0 between Hull City and Norwich City. RB ahead at the moment at Pride Park by 1-0 against Sheffield United.
I think this will be a good test for his side now, because when you get into these playoffs, and it's kind of a similar scenario when you go away in that leg, that can they hold a clean sheet and kind of control a game 1-0 that they may need to do. So this will be a really, really good test for them against a Wrexham side that have reacted well since conceding the goal, but not really tested Sol Brynn in the goal as much as they would have liked.
And Fright works it back to his goalkeeper. Drawn each of their last 3 away games, Middlesbrough. Here's Dobson being encouraged by the home crowd, able to turn under any real pressure initially. There's Dom Hyam, but that's charged down by the hard-working Tommy Conway. That goal that he scored is 13th of the season. Gabore. He's bundled down, free kick to Phil Parkinson's side.
Well, him and Windass have had the most effect in this game so far. On a Wrexham perspective, being really positive in those areas when he gets on the ball to go forward.
It's been a problem for Wrexham this season, the number of goals that they have conceded at home. 36 now, only Sheffield Wednesday and Queen's Park Rangers have conceded more. Dobson to take as he angles one into the Middlesbrough penalty area, and Ayling hoping that it was going to run. It didn't do that. Wrexham adamant they should have had a corner there.
I think I've been in agreement there. Decent ball there from Dobson. You kind of have to really drill it across there then to head it back. Luke Ayling was just trying to see that one out. Just wondering if he just got a tiny touch on the ball just before crossed the byline.
There's Malanda. Middlesbrough finding themselves deep quite often. Target with time now, though. Goal from Tommy Conway remains Middlesbrough's only attempt on goal so far this afternoon. And again, Middlesbrough looking for a way out, and Wrexham making it difficult for them. A late decision by Ollie Langford, but he has awarded Wrexham the free kick they were pleading for.
Oh, yeah, they've just got to be careful. You clearly see that they're delaying the pass out to draw the press in. Phil Park on the side of, I think, defended those areas really well. Have maybe caused Middlesbrough more issues than they needed to. An experienced player losing the ball in the wrong area.
Kind of worked those situations well, Wrexham, haven't they? We have seen Middlesbrough boxed in at times as they've had to build from the back. So a bit of organising to do for Sol Bryn.
Now, the way Windass does strike the ball, this is a good distance.
Windass whips it towards goal! A magnificent strike to bring Wrexham level. Well, he's known for not celebrating his goals, but it's going crazy around him right now. Wrexham get the response they were looking for, and in quite fabulous fashion.
Well, you have to say they've deserved it. I think his side have reacted really well to conceding the early goal, and haven't really tested him too much in the Middlesbrough goal. But when you're talking about quality and you're talking about brilliance of a player like Windass, that is a world-class free kick. I said it was the right distance for him. Up and over the wall. It's a brilliant free kick. Talk about getting yourself back into the game with a bit of brilliance. Well, there you go.
You don't save those. An incredible strike from Josh Windass. 7 in 7 for him. And Wrexham back level this afternoon. Incredible hit from Josh Windass. And now Wrexham have their tails up here. Kabore. Windass sees it deflect off Malanda. We're on a day when we know we're going to get drama. We surely won't get a better strike than that from Josh Windass. And there has been a goal elsewhere as well. Hull City have fallen behind at home to Norwich. It is all going on in the race for the playoffs. So as things stand, it is still Derby County who hold the card for the playoffs. This is how it looks right now. Derby on 72, Wrexham 71, and Hull City trailing now to Norwich, as we mentioned, down in 8th place. Strap yourselves in. This is going to be a heck of an afternoon in the race to reach the playoffs.
You've got your work cut out, Mr. Bishop, keeping it everyone up to date, including myself.
The calculators will be going at quite the rate this afternoon. And you just know, we've all been there. You as a player, Adam, me as a fan, on these kind of days, the fans will be now arms around each other. It's on, we can do it. But for the players, they have to keep their heads. Such a difficult job.
And I feel that's what Wrexham have done really well after conceding that goal. I think it just shows everything about what Phil Parkinson has built here. I think Middlesbrough will be disappointed because scoring that early goal, could they have gone and killed the game off early and try and find that second, but I just felt in possession in their own half wasn't really effective enough. Maybe the channel ball wasn't used as much as well.
The goal here and the goal at Hull pretty much going in at exactly the same time. Mohamed Toure with the goal for Norwich, but there has now been another goal at Hull. They've levelled up. Ollie McBurney from the penalty spot on 28 minutes. I've still got another hour of this to go. So as it stands, Derby in 6th on 72, Wrexham still in 7th on 71, Hull on the same points now in 8th place. 1 point between 3 teams as Middlesbrough come forwards, too far out in front of Whittaker. There will be twists and turns aplenty. You can almost feel it's a moment in which the crowd are just drawing breath here at the racecourse ground. Ball flighted forwards and one for Target to watch back to his goalkeeper. Solbring comes to the perimeter of his penalty area to get onto it for Middlesbrough. Just have to feel with Middlesbrough right now that they've accepted that Ipswich are going to do what they need to do today as Conway makes his way into the Wrexham box. It flashes one across goal. Nobody there for Middlesbrough. Team effort comes in from Aidan Morris. Nobody gambled on that Conway cross. Here's Luke Ayling. Strelec and Conway waiting in the middle. Can Ayling pick either of them out? He hangs one up to the back post. It's missed by Kabore. Flag has been raised over on the far side ball. Free kick given by the officials.
Yeah, there's a little late challenge here on Luke Ayling. Just thought it was a good advantage, but well, this is why we talk about his brilliance and we talk about his quality, and this is why Phil Parkinson starts him, because he could go with O'Brien in terms of alongside Rathbone, the way that they press. He doesn't provide the press, but what he does provide is that quality on the ball, and an inspired free kick there to get his side back into the game, but now they've got to defend this now.
And there's a player, Windass, in such hot form. 7 goals in his last 7 starts, of course. Scored the goal that won the League One playoff final for Sheffield Wednesday 3 years ago. His father, of course, 18 years ago, scored the goal that won promotion in the Championship playoff final for Hull City, as Danny Ward does his organising into the team in recent weeks. Touched off to Whittaker, who looks to whip one in, but it deflects behind for a corner.
He got away with that one. I don't think that was the right idea to do that, despite his quality with his left foot.
Luke Ayling trying to hide behind David Strelec before making his move. In it comes, it's awkward for Ward. Hooked towards goal, prodded towards goal. Saved in between the legs of Danny Ward.
I don't know where that fits in the coaching manual of how to save a ball, but he managed to keep it out the net. Just a nervy couple of moments for Danny Ward in the goal.
Keep it out, top line of the coaching manual, but exactly, maybe in a more orthodox method. Long ball sent forwards. Into Rathbone. He does well to hold off the attentions of Aidan Morris. James looks to clip one out to the far side. Cross comes in, it's too far in front of Smith.
Early opportunity, Doyle, when he delayed the cross that came into the box and gave way a needless foul. This time he took the early cross in. Just a little bit too much pace on it for Smith at the far post.
And there has been a goal, which does Middlesbrough more harm in their hopes of it somehow still swinging their way. Millwall have taken the lead. Femi Aziz on 34 minutes at the Den. So both the teams above Middlesbrough in the table, now leading this afternoon. Less than 10 minutes to go until half-time in what has been an eventful start to the day on the final day of the Sky Bet Championship. Of course, it looked going into midweek as if we could have had 4 teams vying for automatic promotion today. Ball sent forwards and Doyle a little loose. Now Whittaker. Is that a push in the back? No free kick coming, and I don't think Whittaker truly expected he was going to get the decision there. Here's Kabore. 7th start in the last 8 games for him. He pushes one into Smith. Windass looks to push it into the channel. Too much on it.
It's probably the one area when you look at Wrexham just haven't quite got Smith into the game enough. He's come short, but what he will do, he'll keep running the channels, he'll keep making the movement. Kind of the unselfishness you probably see without the ball, more than anything, leading the press as well.
You can imagine the scenes as well at Derby and at Hull. I find on these final days, half-time just feels like a decompressed 15 minutes. And those fans, you can feel, feeling the strain, feeling the stress. It looks so good for Middlesbrough so early here today. Was it going to be the most unlikeliest of final days? It certainly doesn't seem as if it will be the case for Dobson to Windass, who touches it off first time. James to Kabore. Relatively well, Middlesbrough, it feels, in. Kabore having clear grass to run into. Ayling manages to force one through to Conway. His first touch was heavy and it just invited Hyam to come in and make the challenge. Conway takes the throw quickly and it's Luke Ayling who's continued his run. The cross comes in, the header loops over the top from Morgan Whittaker.
Oh, it's good awareness there from Luke Ayling, because when the ball went out for the throw, he just carried on his run after the pass. Got him to this area here. There's a lot there for Whittaker to do with the pace of the ball that went towards him. Just trying to get something on it to direct it towards goal.
If they are to make it, and if Middlesbrough are to win the playoffs, you kind of feel this is a really good opportunity for both teams to truly tune up for the pressure of the playoffs and the drama that always brings. Windass flights one forward, so many in his short time at Middlesbrough, able to deal with it. Dobson to Kabore. Back with Dobson once again. Clipped around the corner to find Ollie Rathbone. Smith and Windass waiting. Touched off by Thomason. In comes the cross target. Was a little sharper and was able to head it away.
Yeah, Middlesbrough have shown a decent amount of respect to Wrexham, the way that they're defending fairly deep. But the issue is that for Kim Hellberg's side, they just don't have an outball into the front three because they're dropping even deeper. So when they do win possession, they want to have that quick turnover to go forward. They don't have an outball to find someone.
off by Strelec. Into Aidan Morrison, a rare moment of calm in this first half. Sheffield Wednesday have taken the lead in their game against West Brom. It doesn't affect either of these teams, but good news today that Sheffield Wednesday have had their takeover confirmed, and the EFL have agreed to not impose the 15-point penalty on them. That news only breaking in the last few minutes as Kabore looks to fly forwards here. Now he has to try and take on target. Sends in the cross, thumping header from Sam Smith. And having trailed 1-0, Wrexham now lead by 2-1. Predatory instincts from Sam Smith in the box. It was all going wrong. Now, for Wrexham, it's all going right.
Oh, it's been an incredible turnaround in this first half, and fair play to Wrexham. I have to say Middlesbrough have been at their own downfall. 10 minutes okay, but then for the rest of this first half, they've been really poor. And Wrexham have just built in confidence, and Kabore has been outstanding down that right-hand side, and for the first time, he gets the run on target, gets across into the box. And for a player, as I mentioned, has been starved of service in this first half, but he's not given up on his runs. Times his run perfectly with a bullet of a header.
His first goal in 7, and it's one that has Wrexham back in the top 6. Will Parkinson remains calm. Now quickly, it can all change. A dreadful start today. But now Wrexham find themselves in front. It was a quite brilliant header as well, wasn't it, Adam? Got across his man. And once he got the contact, there was nothing that Sol Brink could do.
He scored 2 different goals, Wrexham, but 2 magnificent goals. And Middlesbrough have just allowed this to happen to them. I don't think they've done anywhere near enough to control the game better in Wrexham's half after scoring that early goal. And finally, a bit of quality in front of goal for Wrexham with that ball and cross has given them the lead, and thoroughly deserved.
And there you see what it means. Wrexham back where they started the day in 6th place, but Derby applying the pressure right now, leading at home against Sheffield United. Wrexham know they need to get the job done here today. Hull City drawing at home right now against Norwich City. 1-1 there. Target looks to whip in a dangerous delivery, and Middlesbrough draw level. Delightfully finished by David Strelec. And my, has that punctured the mood here at the racecourse ground. Just moments after fighting their way in front, Wrexham have been pegged back level. Wrexham 2, Middlesbrough 2.
That's a brilliant ball there from Manny Target. Just a quality player to give him time. And he just puts it into a brilliant area. It's a brilliantly timed run. And for how poor Middlesbrough have been, the quality of that ball just needs something on the end of it. Strelec was that player. I call this a goal ball, where it's basically put onto a plate for you. Times his run perfectly. We've had another twist yet again.
How many more will there be this afternoon? If you're a neutral right now, you must be loving the afternoon. But for fans of Wrexham, oh, the stress. Now, with more defending to do as Whittaker pushes it on, Strelec into Conway. He looks to just poke one into the middle. And James on the scamper, but he's beaten to it by Malanda. Now it's Middlesbrough in the ascendancy. Whittaker looks to pop it off. Ayling goes to ground. He wants a free kick. Sam Smith now the target, and he turns away initially from Dale Fry, who recovers well, but in doing so concedes a corner.
He does well there, Smith, and Fry just grabs him slightly. Any more contact, then Smith was well in his rights to go down. I'll give that an 8 out of 10 for that dive.
Room for improvement. 2 minutes and 14 seconds between the 2 goals.
Yeah, I mean, Phil Parkinson will be disappointed with the manner of the goal, because they've controlled so much of this first half, and Middlesbrough have just had 2 moments of quality, and they found 2 goals from that with 2 opportunities.
So it's back in Derby's hands right now. Final seconds of a frenetic first half here. Can Wrexham find a way in front once again? Thomason, too deep the delivery. That sails harmlessly out of play. 3 minutes added on at the end of this first half.
Yeah, what that goal does for his side, it just dampens the mood after, I think, a very, very good first half. They've shown the qualities of going a goal behind, and now they're going to show in the second half what they are all about, because they are creating chances, but it just kind of just dampens the mood slightly going into half-time.
And the mood all important on days like these, deciding days, with Wrexham looking to keep their Premier League dream alive. Was that a high boot? The game allowed to go on by referee Ollie Langford. Pushed down the line, and it's a ball which finds Tommy Conway. Did he keep it in play? Not quite able to do so. There'll be quite the adrenaline drop in the changing rooms at half-time. So much has happened in this first period. Rathbone just hooks one on. Scuff clearance by the Wrexham captain, Dom Hyam. Clip forwards. Middlesbrough with a problem right now. Player down, as you saw there in the centre circle. Strelec just feeding it in to find Callum Britton. Clever from Windass, and Matty James draws the foul. The challenge coming in from Alan Brown. Not too much time though left on the clock in this first half.
Yeah, maybe the timing of the half just maybe got away with the yellow card there.
Yeah, first half in which the referee, Ollie Langford, has kept his cards in his pocket. And there has been a couple of situations when which perhaps he could have brought them out. So Wrexham with one last chance to thump it forward before the half-time whistle blows. And there is the half-time whistle. Still 45 minutes to go, but it has been an eventful first half here at the Racecourse Ground. Tommy Conway putting Middlesbrough into the lead early. Goals from Josh Windass and Sam Smith had Wrexham leading, but so soon after they took the lead, David Strelec levelled it up for Middlesbrough. Right now, Wrexham find themselves outside of the playoff places. Half-time score, Wrexham 2, Middlesbrough 2. Will Wrexham turn to Kiefer Moore at some stage in the second half? Welcome back to the Racecourse Ground, where it is 2-2 at half-time between Wrexham and Middlesbrough. For Middlesbrough, the ambition coming into the day looked gone, with Ipswich leading by 2-0 home to Queen's Park Rangers, and Millwall leading by 1-0 in their game at home to already relegated Oxford. But for Wrexham, it is there for them, most definitely, but they have work to do right now. They know those supporters that Derby County are doing what they need to do in their game at home against Sheffield United at Pride Park, which, as things stand, has the Rams in 6th place, a point ahead of Phil Parkinson's team. But a win for Wrexham, with Hull also being held, means that they would make it back into the top 6. It is incredibly tight. Wrexham and Hull came into the day locked level on points and only 1 goal between them on goal difference. There was even talk of the scenario of the head-to-head coming into things between Wrexham and Hull this season. That may still be needed, and that is something that Hull hold, having won both games between the sides this season. Not a bad first half though, was it, Adam?
Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. I say much easier to watch as a neutral, rather being a player and also a fan. But say credit to both sides. Middlesbrough have shown that bit of resilience that you need. That not really great in that first half, but have managed to find themselves an equaliser that's kind of changed the mood in the ground a little bit. Wasn't that brilliant header from Smith, and say that the Wrexham fans being optimistic, and then just a goal before half-time, all of a sudden you just feel the crowd just kind of huff and puff really, and just kind of just be a little bit deflated after, I thought, an excellent first half performance. But as I said on more than one occasion, defensively at home Wrexham are not being good enough, and it's just being proved again that you can't concede goals and goals and goals and expect to keep scoring 3 to win games of football.
Well, we are going to have a slightly longer half-time than usual, so they can sync things up between all the games that matter. So it will be a bit more of a wait for you before we get back underway, but a perfect opportunity for us to just fill you in on the state of play in the Championship right now at half-time on this final day. So Ipswich doing what they need to do. It would have to be an incredible turnaround, really, for a Queen's Park Rangers side with nothing to play for to cause Ipswich too much concern, you feel. And Wrexham know they have work to do against Middlesbrough here, with Derby County leading by a goal to nil. David Strelic coming back out for Middlesbrough, the man who drew them level just before half-time. I think a sensible option from the EFL to just make sure, Adam, that we're all getting these games underway once more at the same time. Of course, there will then be perhaps wildly different amounts of stoppage time in the games, as we so often see. Doing what they do is to just have things all getting back underway at the same time. But as you can see, the players now, and both teams have made their way back out. Moments of the game, surely, so far. Josh Windass's free kick.
A world-class free kick there from Josh Windass that gave Wrexham that optimism and that hope to turn that first half around, and say his header gave him even more hope that you could see the half out, then he'll be making his team talk slightly easier. But still a lot of positives to do. I mean, they're creating a lot of chances, and I don't think Middlesbrough have been great first half, if I'm being completely honest. I think possession-wise have not been great in their own half to play out from the back, but what they have done well on the 2 occasions, they've put the ball into an area for the first goal that caused a bit of a mix-up between defender and goalie for Wrexham, and then the second goal was just that bit of quality there from Target. That's why you bring players like him in for that left foot, that bit of brilliance, that experience as well. But he'll know his side is in for a second half, because Wrexham know what they need to do.
So change being made by Middlesbrough, and they're going to bring Ronnie McCree into the action in place of Alan Brown. You do wonder, with what's going on elsewhere this afternoon, if Middlesbrough have almost accepted their fate and are now starting to think of the playoffs. Of course, there is the feeling then maybe that players might just ease up for Middlesbrough, wanting to be part of that playoff campaign, not run a risk of an injury. But it was a day which had started so well for Kim Hellberg's side. They struck early, then no sooner had they scored, news filtered through from Portman Road that Ipswich had also taken an early lead at home to Queen's Park Rangers. So we're all set to get back underway here. Wrexham, as things stand, needing to find a goal to get themselves back into the top 6. Derby occupying 6th spot at the moment. But we saw just how much things changed through the first half, and likely will get the same happening in the second period. Hull drawing 1-1 in their game against Norwich City. They too, Hull City, in contention for the 1 remaining playoff spot. So a chance to go through it all again.
It is really important for Wrexham that that goal just before half-time doesn't affect the mood at the start of the second half, where they can really press Middlesbrough and go after them. Because Middlesbrough will be certainly aware of the results going around them, hence probably the change at half-time, and maybe more changes to happen throughout this second half, and Wrexham will have to capitalise on that.
Ayling just thumps one forward. Bit of defending for Kabore to do, who put in the cross for Sam Smith's goal, which had Wrexham leading by 2-1. And still drifting back to their seats. Imagine the mood would have been slightly deflated at half-time for Wrexham, having conceded that goal late in the first half. Here's Riley McCree now coming forwards. He threads one into Morgan Whittaker. It just gets away from him.
Yeah, just lost his foot in there, Whittaker, just when that ball came into him. Whether he was caught in two minds to take a touch and then take the shot on, or try and take the shot on first time.
Here's Tommy Conway, who scored that early goal and has been a threat down that left-hand side for Middlesbrough this afternoon. The header away. Del Fry nods it back forward. Rathbone works it backwards, and Wrexham can look to move forwards. Long ball flighted forwards. It was seeking Thomason, but it sails out of play. Well, we've been here. He's been there, he's done it all before, isn't he, Phil Parkinson? He's no stranger to days like these. Wrexham, though, have tended to get things done early in his time at the club. For Kim Hellberg, of course, his first season in English football. And for a long, long time, it looked as if Middlesbrough would be in the top two. Oh, they're feeling it, aren't they, on the terraces here? It's going to be a long, long 45 minutes for those Wrexham supporters. Matt Target into Aidan Morris, touched off to Morgan Whittaker. Strelec waiting in the middle, but it goes into the front post, too far in front of the forward, taken in by Danny Ward.
Yeah, a bit of a slow start from Wrexham in this second half, and Middlesbrough just finding their flow a little bit there, just a little bit too much on the cross there from Morgan Whittaker.
Worked nicely by Wrexham. Information of that Middlesbrough at half-time substitution there, just in the top left of your screen. Kabore makes his way into the Middlesbrough box. It comes off Matt Target. Final touch and clipping back off Kabore, who doesn't agree with the assistant.
And again, the battle has commenced at the start of this second half, and good defending again there from Target. The one time he's got past him has led to the goal.
Such a threat. Issa Kabore. Matt Target had done a really good job. Middlesbrough had done a really good job containing him in that first half. At that one moment in which he was able to wreak a bit of havoc, leading to the goal which had Wrexham in front. Glorious day here in North Wales, the racecourse ground, soaked in sunshine. Millwall doing what they can to try and put the pressure on Ipswich, who are cruising right now at home to Queen's Park Rangers. Goal early in the second half for them as they double their lead. 2-0 in front over Oxford. So I think in regard to automatic promotion, the day is panning out how many would have expected, with Ipswich and Millwall both taking care of business. Can Wrexham take care of theirs here? Matty James, he looks to cross, and it's a ball that travels all the way across the face of goal. Thomason unable to do something.
And the way they've set up Wrexham, they try and play that ball into that midfield area, looking for the little threaded through balls to the likes of Smith and Rathbone and Windass. But when the ball is out wide, on a few occasions, crosses have come to the box and have not had enough players making that run in.
Possession given away. Here's Dobson. Windass tries to thread one through. It breaks for Matty James. Kabore can send in across. The ball bouncing around in the box. Smith hooks it towards goal. Straight at Solbrin.
I just wondered if he could have just tried to wrap his right foot around it.
Conway. Goes across the pitch before finding Luke Ayling. Now Callum Britton. He's going to swing in across a low delivery, which goes all the way through.
Well, the results they are now. Shoot his right foot there, Smith, with the opportunity and chance. I mean, to use your left, always a tough technique, but the way the results are now, all the pressure is on Wrexham.
Who started the day in 6th. Are they about to surrender a playoff place? Strelec. Now Conway. That target, there's 4 Middlesbrough players inside the penalty area as Conway touches it off. Does feel a little nervy right now, but always likely to be the case in this situation. And Wrexham there, just making Middlesbrough almost tiptoe their way back into their own half. And Britton tried to turn, ran out of room. Windass holds off Conway, sends in a cross, which Fry can head away. Dobson into Rathbone, touches it onto Smith. Rathbone strikes straight at Sol Bryn. Worked it very nicely indeed, Wrexham.
It's another deja vu with that first half where they're testing Sol Bryn in the goal, but comfortable saves there from him, but it's a good little give and go there. Delicate touch there from Smith.
Wrexham looking to keep their foot on the pedal here. Good work by Dobson. Now Thomason. Bit of room for Doyle. He's going to let fly. Significant deflection to take the sting out of it. Can't take your eyes off this one. Both teams looking to get the ball back in play as quickly as possible. Here's Whittaker. He pushes a very good ball out to find Tommy Conway. He rolls it across looking for Riley McCree, but Matty James knew what was going on, got himself back to clear that one behind.
And that ball down the channel's caused Wrexham a few issues in this game so far, in particular Conway. They play high with the wing-backs and then all of a sudden that space isn't behind, and that's why I thought Middlesbrough may have used it more, but I'd say James has come back there and really read the danger so well.
Drawing on all his experience, Matty James, 34 years of age now. It's like the last 5 games for Wrexham, his first start since February. In comes the corner, picked away by Sam Smith. Sent in by Britton. Smith there once again, and a loose touch. Can Windass get there first? He's just beaten to it. Luke Ayling, is he going to have a go? He is, but he drags his efforts some way wide.
Yeah, small concern for Wrexham. Just playing a little bit deep when Middlesbrough just get decent possession, 25, 30 yards from his goal, and it's kind of allowing opportunities and not really closing the ball down quick enough. Speculative effort there from Luke Ayling to drag it wide.
I would imagine Wrexham will be quite happy. Middlesbrough start taking pops from that kind of range as Kim Hellberg watches on. Good work by Doyle. Now Windass. Almost feels as if we're starting to build towards the drama once again on this final afternoon. Thomason, 2 for company. Wrexham throw. And you can see Wrexham, 12 attempts at goal this afternoon, 7 of them on target. And a lot of those 7 have been comfortable saves for Solbrent. As it stands, Middlesbrough in 5th position, level on points with Southampton, so that would mean, because of their slightly inferior goal difference, they would have an away second leg. So there is incentive for Middlesbrough, even if they know the top 2 is gone, to try and ensure that that second leg is at the Riverside.
Yeah, it's a great shout. You kind of want that home leg second.
Danny Ward coming a long way from goal. Can be so important, can't it, to have that decisive night in front of your fans. The Riverside was in great voice last weekend, and Middlesbrough coming forwards here. Matty James once again steps in for Wrexham. Got there just before Callum Britton. Now Rathbone. Now we've got a game which is pretty end-to-end. Kabore, feeling Wrexham supporters want to see him on the ball as often as possible. He's a man that can certainly make things happen for them. Here's Rathbone. Thomason, Middlesbrough standing off. Ball played into the penalty area. And there might still be something on here. Dobson. Into Kabore. Remember, a goal for Wrexham takes them back into the top 6. Doyle sweeps in the cross. The clearance is high from Fry, but it causes problems. Solbrent comes out to claim. You can imagine the scenes, can't you, Adam, at Pride Park Derby? In that 6th spot at the moment, their fans will be relentlessly looking at their phones. Their lead precarious over Sheffield United, leading by a goal to 0. Derby, who started the day in 8th place. Riley McGree able to advance here. Riley McGree takes a deflection. Breaks to Whittaker. Now Britton. Into Morris. Whittaker. Middlesbrough playing with plenty of confidence in their play, but then possession lost poorly as Dobson wins it back from Morris. How long in the day before Phil Parkinson considers a change? We saw Keeper Moore warming up at half-time.
Yeah, he's got certainly strong options to come off the bench and change the context of this game, so timings of his substitutions will be critically important. And the longer that Middlesbrough can frustrate Wrexham, keep that possession-based football and stretch the game as much as possible, then more this half goes on, Wrexham will have to chase the goal. And that's where Middlesbrough might be able to capitalise and find themselves a winner.
It's a target who just found himself in that central position. Heavy challenge, but an advantage available, so the game goes on. The target has stayed down. Of course, there'll be some concern because he picked up a problem a couple of weeks ago. He was only able to be used as a substitute last week. He doesn't look too happy right now, but he has at least got back to his feet. Dobson sees the opportunity to send Sam Smith in behind, but Luke Ayling on the cover.
Yeah, just probably that one area they just haven't quite got that ball right into Smith, where he uses his strength really well and his pace along the way.
Middlesbrough enjoying plenty of the ball here, stroking the ball around with plenty of confidence, and they have had more of the ball this afternoon, 54% of it, and it's that sweeping ball out to the left-hand side which sees them in again, but Wrexham wanted an offside. It took a while. The flag has been raised. Tommy Conway doesn't agree, and it is one of those frustrating ones when he's looking right across the line, which he shouldn't find himself in an offside position. He's not having it, is he, Tommy Conway? Long by Danny Ward. Sam Smith once again the target. Into the final 30 minutes of the championship season. Wrexham have risen and risen over the last few years. I don't think too many people saw them as perhaps realistic playoff contenders in their first season back at this level. They have the chance over the course of the next half an hour to seal a place in the playoffs in their own hands coming into the day, as long as they could better what Hull do and keep the threat of Derby away as well. But right now it is Derby who are heading to the playoff semi-finals. Here's Matty James. Dobson touches it off. Now preparing a change, Wrexham. Ethan Broadhead will be coming on shortly. Free kick for the challenge on Morgan Whittaker.
I think the frustration for Wrexham in this second half is just that one shot from distance, and that's really been about it. So no surprise to see the 60-minute mark where changes are going to be made now.
Ben Sheaf is also going to be thrown into the action. It does just display the strength of squad that Phil Parkinson has. So George Dobson, one of those who will make way. And Ollie Rathbone is also going to depart. The players to have in reserve for Wrexham in Nathan Broadhead and Ben Sheaf. Can one of them be a difference maker? Hickson need one right now. Nathan Broadhead, who's chipped in with 7 goals this season. A couple of goals in the game at Deepdale. Southampton were leading 2-0. Preston have just pulled one back as Wrexham again look to box Middlesbrough in, and they've been pretty good at doing that through the course of the afternoon. Now, of course, they have the added energy of Broadhead to help with that. Well, they have had days they will never forget over the last few years. Will they be celebrating at the end of this particular afternoon? Still 1-1 between Hull and Norwich. Derby still leading by a goal to nil. Yes, now it is that difficult balancing act, isn't it, for Phil Parkinson? Because at the moment he knows his side needs a goal. How long do you wait to start being really adventurous? And also knowing that if Sheffield United were to score, they wouldn't need that goal as well.
Exactly, yeah, it's a difficult scenario. And
Britain has some defending to do under pressure from Thomason. There is so much to evaluate, to go through, isn't there, for managers on the final day. And I mentioned that Wrexham might not need to score a goal because Sheffield United might get one at Pride Park, and that has happened. Tom Cannon has levelled things up there, and the mood might just change in the racecourse ground once that starts to filter through. Wrexham on the attack here. They are back in 6th place as things stand. Kabore looks to cross. It's cut out at the front post, but the ball had just gone beyond the byline. So another swing in this playoff race. Wrexham haven't had to do anything in this second half, and they find themselves back in.
Oh, it's amazing, isn't it? Because you didn't think maybe a draw would be enough. But the players will know now. You do get told, and the manager will be told as well, exactly what is going on minute by minute. He'll know now that the draw at the moment, but he'll want the next goal just to kind of keep it a lot safer. You don't want to be going into 90th minute and then they concede a late goal. But the players are fully aware.
Saw there everybody using their phones in different ways. Some people on the phone, other people looking at the apps. And of course, you will now have Derby County laying siege on the Sheffield United goal, you would feel, at Pride Park to try and get themselves back in front. They just need to take care of business themselves, Wrexham.
That's where his coaching staff around him will just tell him when he needs to be known and stuff, and let him concentrate on the game and think about your tactics and think about your subs that are going to come on and how you're going to play it. I mean, Sheaf into that midfield is so important for them to have him back. A welcome return.
They'll always tell you, managers, that They don't look at the other games. They don't care what's going on in the other games. Today's different. This is one of the days when you need to know. But for Wrexham, it is now going very well for them. Back into 6th place in the table. There you can see it. But the margins are so tight. And you have to remember as well, a Hull City goal at home to Norwich changes it once again. There'll be a few twists. It's a guarantee over the next 24 minutes. Is anyone watching the game? Everybody's looking at their phones. It is one of those afternoons. Britain under pressure from Broadhead. Thomason just slips as it was played a touch behind him.
It's certainly understandable from Wrexham in this second half that they have been conservative. Nowhere near as effective and as confident as they were in the first, but understandable, the nerves of the game now. Pressure is there to be seen.
It all feeds through, doesn't it, from the stands down onto the pitch. Here's Callum Doyle. He puts in the cross, the touch is loose from Thomason. Once again, Wrexham just able to keep the ball down this end. Can they force a third goal here? Borough are going to make a further couple of changes. Kim Helberg might just hold off, as he has done, from doing so. Leo Castledine is going to be one of those introduced. Hasn't felt for maybe a good 10 minutes or so in this game that Middlesbrough have had a threat. And they look to change that now as we cross the midway point in the second half. Riley McCree finds some space, pushes it through. It was always going to be a difficult ball to find David Strelec. So often is the case as well, isn't it, Adam, on these final days? You think of Sheffield United, they don't have really anything to play for other than pride, but they can go and spoil a party, and it's the honesty of the EFL. Teams will give everything up until the final kick, and Derby have got to find a way now to try and negotiate that. It's the same for Norwich as well at Hull. Norwich have been in fabulous form. It always looked difficult for Hull today as that ball is sent forwards and collision inside the box, but I'm feeling the effects of it. Just be cramping up there. Oh, you can hear the ripples ringing around the racecourse because news of another Sheffield United goal is filtering through. Derby were in 6 just a few moments ago, but they've conceded twice. The situation, the scenario gets better for Wrexham, but the players have to remain focused here. It must be so hard to drown all of this out.
It'll be difficult. The players, as I mentioned, will be fully aware.
Looking to break forwards, looking to find a way in front once again this afternoon. Thomason sends in his cross. Free kick given away. And as we mentioned, and we should mention again, they have to be wary of the fact that a Hull City goal, this
100%.
result is not good enough for them.
And as we've seen during this game, Bish, that they've conceded 2 goals from 2 crosses and not really had too much to deal with. So they have switched off defensively, and conceding the goal here again changes everything.
Middlesbrough changes being made. Morgan Whittaker being replaced. Big boost for Middlesbrough to have had him back over the last few games, to get him back up to full tilt for the playoffs. Castledine and Jeremy Sarmiento, the 2 players coming on. David Strelec is also going to be replaced. And the man who got the goal which made it 2-2, and a player who's in really good nick right now as well. David Strelic, Kim Helberg has been very happy with him in recent weeks. Those players can rest up ahead of a playoff campaign which will start very quickly. Jeremy Sarmiento, a good luck charm really, isn't it? He's won promotion in each of his last 2 seasons, on loan at Ipswich a couple of years ago and then on loan at Burnley last year. Wrexham also preparing changes. Kiefer Moore and Ryan Longman are both going to come on. But Kiefer Moore be the man to find a goal here for Wrexham. He only has 1 goal in his last 16 championship games. As we await the changes to be made. And again, it just emphasises that point, doesn't it? What's happening at Pride Park, about teams still turning up on the final day when they have little to play for. 2 goals in the space of 7 minutes. Sheffield United, and the picture has changed once again, and this is news that Wrexham did not want to hear. Ollie McBurney, with his 2nd of the day, has put Hull into the lead, so it is now Hull City who occupy the final playoff spot. Wrexham have to find a goal.
And all 3 have been in 6th place, haven't they, today? Need these moments off the bench to find something from somewhere. Experience of Kiefer Moore.
You also have to consider the scenario well. Hull City are going to have to perhaps throw it at Norwich because they know that if Wrexham score, Wrexham are back in. But because how tight the goal difference is, Hull City have the chance to outscore Wrexham today and still make it into the playoffs, courtesy of a better goal difference. There was 1 between the sides coming into the day. So Hull City might just need another couple of goals. And we said it would change again. So it has, and we still have 17 minutes left to play. Issa Kabore, replaced by Ryan Longman. And he gives his shirt away as well. The man that made Wrexham's 2nd goal this afternoon. There's Callum Britton.
They've gone to a back 4 now. That's the sacrifice of a defender to bring in an extra players in those forward lines now. 15, 20 minutes ago, this is where Phil Parkinson is now going for it.
Has to take the gamble, but it allows Middlesbrough room to move into. Callum Britton lets it go. Leo Castledine, can he finish? Danny Ward keeps it out. Castledyne's still there, and he can't tuck it away. Wrexham survives somehow.
There's just one moment again, as I said, with Wrexham. That's why you can never count them to be in control of the game. Target again there, but it's a really poor miss there from Castledine there. She should have taken it earlier. It's an opportunity that's gone begging.
Unorthodox from Danny Ward once again, and then magnificent defensive work by Callum Doyle to get that challenge in. But they have to live dangerously because they have to find a goal. Thumped away by Sol Brim, but all he does is present possession back to Wrexham. Heavy touch from Windass. Touched out of play by Malander. In comes the cross. It's flicked away by Fry. Well, they've seen so much late drama here at the racecourse over the last few years. They are desperate for a touch of it here this afternoon. Thomason into James. Once again works it wide to Thomason. James clips in the cross. Travels all the way behind.
He's got to be careful not to force it and Kiefer Moore on, but this was an alarming situation at the end there where I remember that if Middlesbrough can find themselves a goal, then they'll have that second leg of the game at home, which could be important for them. Bringing in defending the end there from Doyle to read the danger, but I think they're fortunate to get away with that one.
There may well be a few more moments like that this afternoon as Wrexham look to find a way. Away by Ward. On by Smith. That goes up against Sarmiento. Touchdown by Smith into Broadhead. And Castledine just nips in to get there ahead of Matty James. Now Conway looking to break forwards. The challenge comes in and referee awards Middlesbrough a free kick for the tackle made by Dom Hyam.
I don't know if he just knew exactly what he was doing here. Just stretching the play there. Just feeling a bit of contact to go down and draw in the foul. And he's going to be important now for Middlesbrough in terms of that counter-attacking play, that there'll be opportunities and now space for him to run into.
Just feeling the effects of the way he fell there, Tommy Conway. Player who has featured in every single championship game for Middlesbrough this season. Matt Targett has shown that he can put a good ball into the box already this afternoon. Can he find another hit? Free kick comes in and the header flicked towards the far post from Luke Ayling.
And those chances will be met with even bigger gasps from the Wrexham fans. And again, it's just that bit of quality into the box, just maybe a tiny bit too much on it for Luke Ayling to get that connection he's looking for. But it's another chance that's just gone begging, where Wrexham defensively just don't look solid.
Middlesbrough sensing that they could find a third here. Riley McGree into Castledine, back to McGree once again. Sarmiento just beaten to it. Wrexham free kick. Castledine wanted the free kick initially.
They haven't really done enough, have they, to test him in the goal in this second half, and I think nerves have played a part in that. Just didn't seem to have that flow and confidence of what they showed in the first. But as we know, it just takes one moment, as we've seen with Windas's free kick, Smith's goal, to change this game again.
Just 4 attempts at goal in the second half for Wrexham. Middlesbrough have had 5, and they are asking a few questions once again here, Kim Hellberg's side. The cross comes in, it's going to break its way back to Danny Ward. Fry unable to deal with it, but he gets back and recovers initially. But here's Broadhead for Wrexham, who has Thomason out to his left, and he's got a bit of room here. Thomason sends in the cross, couldn't find Kiefer Moore, and it gets Wrexham back down the pitch. "10 minutes to decide who will be the final team to secure a playoff spot in the Championship. Right now it belongs to Hull City, who lead Norwich by 2-1, but that can change with a Wrexham goal. Matty James out to the far side. Wrexham committing plenty of players into the penalty area. They've got 5 in there. They have to settle for a corner.
Yeah, on the ball out wide now, you've got those players in the box to aim for. Don't rush your set plays, set them up properly still. Stay in control of the situation. And they've got enough height now up there to be a real threat. So Middlesbrough have to stay switched on.
And there will be, you feel as well, plenty of time added on at the end of this game. We've had several substitutions in this second half. Crowd of players just outside the 6-yard box right now. Now they break. It's a deep delivery. Moore is the target. Ayling gets there first, and he gets there second time around as well. Here's Windass. Gives one back in, but it was a bit of a tired-looking ball from Windass, and it was nodded away by Malanda. And Wrexham summons something special in the time that remains. Windass peels out wide. And he gets it back from Broadhead. Another cross comes in. This time it's Fry who meets it. Matty James with the effort. Set up tantalisingly for him. He's not exactly known for his goals, Matty James, is he? Just the one so far this season. This is the state of play in the race for the playoffs. Wrexham 7th and 71. Hull City 2 points ahead of them. And of course, as you just saw, Middlesbrough in 5th right now, which would be an away second leg in the playoffs. Just a reminder for you as well, in that automatic promotion picture, Ipswich have been cruising for a long time against QPR. They've been leading 2-0 since the 9th minute of the afternoon. Millwall leading 2-0 against Oxford as well.
Yeah, very different for Middlesbrough coming into today's game. When it's out of your hands, then it was difficult to rely on other teams to do the job for.
Not the best use of that situation. Another change for Wrexham. The final change being made by Phil Park, and it's Davis Keeler-Dunn who he has turned to in their time of need. Matty James is the player replaced. There has been a bit of an injury hold-up in the game between Hull and Norwich as well. So perhaps they will have a bit of time extra added on to what we have here at the racecourse ground. Down the line, seeking Kiefer Moore. Wrexham have to find a second wind. Switch of play to find Thomason. He whips in a dangerous delivery. Headed away by Dale Fry. Thomason eager to get the ball back in play. Here's Windass. Now Ben Sheaf. Who can be a hero for Wrexham this afternoon? Thomason on to Broadhead. Here's Windass, sweeps in the cross, and it was a real opportunity for Sam Smith, but he didn't get the connection he was seeking.
I just needed that bit of calmness in front of goal there, rather than snatching at the opportunity.
Middlesbrough very quickly breaking down the other end. Can the corner be prevented? It can't. Defending to do for Phil Parkinson's side. Big chance this for Sam Smith.
I mean, you just kind of know the lateness of this game, last game of the season, of what the implications are. He just snaps at the chance there. He probably had more time than he realised. Maybe he could have brought it down and taken a quick shot.
And these seconds that are ticking away. Hugely frustrating for Wrexham. Tommy Conway in no rush at all here. And that target has come over now to take. It will be an outswinger. Flicked away by Smith, and it will break for Broadhead here. He drags Wrexham into the Middlesbrough half. It's still Nathan Broadhead. Still Broadhead. He rolls it back. Big chance for Windass, and he's lifted it over the top. Clear sight of goal for a player in such good form.
Well, you'd probably feel the one play you want this roll back to is Josh Windass, is what we've seen from the free kick. Just that one moment where to set yourself down in front of goal, rather going for power, rather than precision. Wastes a massive, massive opportunity.
Well, they'll hope that it isn't their last chance this afternoon, Wrexham, but some chance that it was for Josh Windass. Middlesbrough making a further change. Luke Ayling is going to make way for Calais Seni. Wrexham wanting to get a move on. Kiefer Moore gets the flick on. Away by Malanda. Very different second half to what we had in the first, but is there to be a twist to the tail still as Wrexham come forward once again? Ryan Longman, 5 in the box once again. Cross, though, is charged down, nodded away by target. And McGree gets there first, but his touch is heavy.
Yeah, there's going to be the space there for Middlesbrough to capitalise on. The more that Wrexham are going to just throw players forward and almost leave themselves outnumbered at the back. Can Middlesbrough get that change in transition just right?
Broadhead into Kiefer Moore. And he picks someone out here. His cross comes in, but Solbrin is there.
He just maybe needed to lift that more to the far post area. You always have to believe you're going to get one more chance.
They've done nothing but believe, Wrexham, over the last few years. But they're going to be living dangerously at the back as well now. They have to throw it all at Middlesbrough. 2 minutes of the 90 to play.
You can just see Phil Parkinson down the sidelines now, just waving his arms forward.
Here's Ben Sheaf. Thomason. Into Broadhead. Can Wrexham force a third goal here to change it all? Good move by Keeler Dunn. It's still Keeler Dunn, his shot charged down. Windass works it wide. Plenty in the middle once again. Another cross comes in. It's Sarmiento who clears it away. Sene, though, can't find a way beyond Callum Doyle. Kiefer Moore works it to Thomason, who has to stretch here, but he forces the cross. Huge chance here, and it's one which Wrexham can't take. But again, Wrexham can build, but again, it's a chance which has come and gone. Windass into Kiefer Moore. Another cross slung into the box. All the time in the world here for Ben Sheaf, but he lost his footing. Now Middlesbrough have a promising situation here as Sene looks to ride the challenge of high, and the final touch came off the Middlesbrough man. Oh, he's feeling the stress, isn't he, Phil Parkinson?
Oh. All the experience in the game that he's got, still these situations get to him. What a chance that was there. Whether or not Smith just took a little bit too much time to get his shot off.
The party has started at Portman Road. Ipswich have got a third. They're heading to the Premier League. All eyes in a few moments here on Thomas Kirk, the fourth official. For how much longer will this game go on? Thomason swings one in. It looked more in hope than anything. Wasted opportunity. 5 minutes for Wrexham to punch a ticket to the playoffs. And that's just roused the crowd here. They've been building pressure in the last few minutes. They've created opportunities. They now have to take what comes their way. He will feel they'll make a chance. It's just whether, whoever it falls to, can take that opportunity. Hull still leading by 2-1 at home to Norwich. Here's Matt Targett as Middlesbrough just look to try and take the sting out of the situation, but possession has been turned over and Wrexham can come again. Broadhead, can he find a bit of magic? Nathan Broadhead looks to cross it, deflects behind for a Wrexham corner.
Another chance again to put pressure onto Middlesbrough. Haven't really hit the money with crosses into the box from corners. They've gone always quite far and made it hard for the players to come and attack it towards goal.
All they need is one delivery, and it comes. Sol Brynn gets a touch to it. And they're going to settle for a corner from the other side. Already 1 minute 30 has ticked through of stoppage time. Across comes Thomason. In-swinger coming. Oh, they'd have spent so much time working on these situations. Can they make this count? In comes the corner, deep delivery. Doyle heads it back across Moore, flicks it towards goal. Brynn gets his hands on it.
It's always going to be difficult there. I was talking about those ones to the far post that they've done on more than one occasion, especially from Thomason's left foot. Doyle does so well to keep it alive. I don't think that Kiefer Moore can do much more, but maybe just flick it on for someone else to go and attack.
Hasseldine into Riley McGree. Still Riley McGree. He clips it in, looking for Sene. It's cleared away. And of course, don't forget, a Norwich goal at Hull late on could change it all. And I think they are going to finish at Hull a little later than we are here. Runs out of play. Almost 3 minutes have passed now of the 5 added on. Good work by Broadhead, but he just overruns it. Thumped into the stand by Dale Fry. Ben Sheaf. Here's Broadhead. Still Nathan Broadhead. Looks to just hang one up towards the back post. It loops onto the top of the net. Wrexham corner.
I have to say he's been excellent since he's come on. I think he's really been effective and been direct and been strong in the moment. Now, this is what you train for. This is what everything's all about for these moments. Can they make it right? And the keeper's up now.
Up comes Danny Ward. Wrexham need a hero. Corner whipped in. It's a Middlesbrough head that meets it, and now a chance with Danny Ward all the way out of his goal to break. Davis Keeler-Dunn had to do what he did there. Had to prevent that breakaway. I'm not sure how the referee has kept his cards in his pocket there, but Middlesbrough don't take too much time to get the game back underway. Less than a minute of stoppage time to play. Is the season about to end for Wrexham? Hull City, who were 6 games without a win before today, about to sneak back into the playoff places. Kali Sene clipped away by Thomason. Wrexham free kick, one last chance to launch it forwards. Now or never for Phil Parkinson's team. It breaks for Broadhead. Kiefer Moore. He's going to go for goal, and with that, Wrexham's chances might just be gone.
Well, look back in these moments in these games, Wrexham, and just that bit of composure in front of goal when it really, really matters. And for someone of his experience and the games that he's played in, just got that moment all wrong. And you'd probably say that is going to be it.
Wrexham are praying for help from Norwich City right now. They need them to equalise. It's finished 2-2 here at the racecourse ground. Right now, not enough for Wrexham as they play on in the game between Hull City and Norwich. Middlesbrough into the playoffs.
Time for cities and towns to start dreaming again. Walking in the footsteps of giants. Incredible! I do not believe my eyes. This is extraordinary. Greatness awaits. The sound of hope, the sound of fear, the sound of trepidation, the final day cocktail of emotions that only football can bring. Now, for the final dance before the curtain comes down on the regular season. It's a sensational goal! Glorious! Oh, what a goal! This fight is nowhere near done. It's seismic Saturday. Let the final day chaos begin.
Yep, we have reached the final day of the season. There is still so much to play for. 5 teams battling it out for the last 3 playoff places, and one of Exeter or Leyton Orient will be relegated to League 2. You can see every game live this afternoon on Sky Sports. Let's show you the League 1 table then. Those 5 teams battling out for 3 spaces. 5 into 3 doesn't go. It will all happen this afternoon. We know Lincoln are champions. We know Cardiff have been promoted. And we know Bolton will be in the playoffs. But so much more to be decided. Down the bottom, as I just mentioned, it will be either Exeter that are relegated or Leyton Orient. How are we here already? It is the final day of the regular season in the EFL, and alongside me to enjoy it, Lee Hendry, Luke Chambers. Luke, let's start with you. Ipswich have done it. Automatic promotion for your former team. Kieran McKenna, what a job again. They stumbled a bit in these final few weeks, but they got the job done today.
Yeah, incredible moment for them. It's been an incredible turnaround as a football club over the last 3 or 4 seasons. For him now, that's 3 promotions in 4 years, and to go again, having got relegated, to turn the mood around, to have the investment that they've had in the squad, and we've by far and away, yes, we've made how good their squad is, but for him, never really losing his calm, keeping to the plan, trusting in his players to come good at the right moment, and what a moment for them today. It's been a long season for them, but they've got the job done in the end, and yeah, delighted to see, obviously.
The playoffs twisted and turned for that final spot, Lee, but it's Hull that have done it. Again, they've made really hard work of scraping in at really the last minute, because Derby or Wrexham could have done it, but Derby lost, Wrexham drew, so it will be Hull who play Millwall on Friday night.
I know, the Wrexham dream's over as well, that's the thing. I mean, I actually felt that Wrexham might just be the one that gets in there, but credit to Hull, you know, they've been there for most of the season. I think they've, you know, there's been a lot of drop-offs, hasn't there, but I think it just shows that the creams rise to the top in the Championship, and that's why Ipswich have ended up where they are. But, I mean, credit to Hull. They've been pushing for that for season after season, and to find themselves in the playoffs now against Millwall, you know, that's it'll be a tough one, but as we know, the playoffs can swing in roundabouts.
Yeah, that'll be Middlesbrough, Southampton as well in the first leg. OK, League 1, that's what we're looking at then this afternoon. So much to happen here. These are the permutations, just to run you through these. And Stockport, no, they're in the playoffs if they avoid defeat. Bradford in them if they avoid defeat, but Stevenage will be in the playoffs if they win or if Luton fail to better their results. Luton will be in the playoffs if they win and either Stockport lose, Bradford lose or Stevenage fail to win. And Plymouth Argyle could do it. They'll be in the playoffs if they win and Stevenage and Luton both fail to win. Right, got your heads around that one? Down the other end, it's quite straightforward. Exeter relegated if they fail to win. Leyton Orient will be relegated if they fail to win and Exeter win. So both of those sides, Exeter and Leyton Orient, wanting those 3 points. But when you look at the top end, Luke, who are you thinking? Because so much could happen this afternoon. Is it going to stay as it is, or could Luton and Plymouth, you know, could they sneak in?
I think there's every chance for me. Plymouth are going to Northampton, and I think that's a game that Tom Cleverty and his team would look to believe that they can go and win it, which will ultimately put the pressure on everyone else. Bradford's game this afternoon is such a big one away at Exeter. They've struggled of late. They've played some difficult games. So I potentially see a Stockport as well scenario where one of those sides doesn't win and it opens the door. I think Stevenage will probably get the job done. They've hung in in the playoff chase all season, and they've played with so much energy, and I don't think they'll let that opportunity slip today.
What do you reckon, Lee? Who's going to do it?
I don't think there'll be a lot of change. I really don't. I think the teams that we've just touched on, I think Stevenage have been pretty solid. I think they've got the advantage this afternoon of being at home. I mean, the one for me, I think Bradford. I'd love to see Bradford go again. I think what Graham's done at the football club is quite remarkable. But then you look at the likes of Luton and Plymouth, the form that they've been in, maybe just left it that little bit too late. But I think it's been an intriguing battle. In the top end of League One, it really has. I mean, Bolton have been brilliant under Stephen Schumacher, but I just think that the way it stands now, I'm not sure it changes.
OK, down the bottom end, that's going to be tight as well. Who's going to go out of Exeter or Leyton Orient? Because it's a tough game against Bradford for Exeter. Leyton Orient are at home as well. Exeter basically know they have to win, really, don't they?
Yeah, they do, and that's going to add its own pressures as well. And Bradford, again, won't be coming into this game to try and draw it. They'll be coming in to win the game again. So that's going to be a tough ask for them. I can't see Leyton Orient not winning that home game this afternoon. I think a lot rides on it. Experience of Richie Wellens in there as well for them is going to be massive. But yeah, all to play for. You can't really call it the minute, but I think that's probably how it will stay.
This is why we love it. There's just still, well, as neutrals we love it, and probably not as any of those fans are feeling pretty stressed right now. And we are focusing actually at St James Park this afternoon. So let's hear from both of those managers, Graham Alexander and Matt Taylor, both speaking to Harriet Pryor.
Well, Matt, the task is clear. Win today to give yourself a chance of staying in this league. What do you need to see from your players out there?
Tempo, energy on the pitch from the first whistle. We have to attack the game, we know that. We're all well aware of the situation. I think it simplifies our game plan. We have to take the game to a very good opposition and hopefully create some attacking moments early on, create a bit of atmosphere and a bit of a feel about the place and hopefully be successful.
Well, Graham, a point needed to extend your season into the playoffs. What have the emotions been like coming into this game?
Just normal. We put pressure on ourselves to win games of football anyway from day one of the pre-season, really. So, we knew at a certain point in the season if we want to be successful, there comes a crunch point where you have to win a game or get points on the board, and that's where we are today. So we see it as another hurdle to overcome.
And benefit you as well, being at home today in front of your fans?
Yeah, absolutely. But Bradford come well supported as well. I think it'll be a great atmosphere. There's a little bit of moisture out there, a bit of surface water. I think it'll be a quick game, a tempo game. Atmosphere will be where it needs to be. We can't control what's happening elsewhere, so hopefully it's a good spectacle for you guys as well as ourselves. 5
teams going for 3 playoff spots. Will you be keeping an eye on any other results over the course of the afternoon?
Nah, to be honest, I'll have enough my focus on what's going on in front of me, but at some point we might need some info, but not right now. I think we've just got to focus on what we do, and it's in our control, and if we can keep that all the way through, then we'll be in a good place.
Yeah, both those sides, everything to play for at both ends of the table. Elsewhere, there's 2 young managers who've been cutting their teeth in this league this season. Jack Wilshere and Tom Cleverley. Luton Town and Plymouth Argyle, both in with a chance of a playoff place this afternoon. We'll hear from them shortly.